Allegheny Airlines jet carrying 82 persons collided with a small private plane this afternoon about 10 miles southeast of Indianapolis.
We now have a further report on that Allegheny jetliner crash from Craig Kendall of WISH-TV, Indianapolis.
The crash scene southeast of Indianapolis is a mass of debris and parts of bodies.
Both planes crashed to the ground. Apparently, there were no survivors.
Hey guys, GhostMan Shaun B coming at you from the middle of what really looks like nowhere, right? I'm actually in a place called Fairland, Indiana, right? It's southeast of Indianapolis. And out here, you might be asking me, GhostMan, why are we standing in the middle of a cornfield? Well, there's a good story to go with that. It's kind of like children of the corn out here, right? Malachi, Isaac, oh boys, oh boys. Anyway, our story takes place September 9th in 1969. It was a fateful day, overcast, but otherwise clear weather. There was an aircraft, Allegheny 853, on its way from Boston to Indianapolis International Airport. It was a beautiful day, just a little clouds in the sky. Everybody was business as usual. They were coming to Indianapolis to, who knows, see family, see loved ones, try out for a new job, who knows. But it was just a regular day. Little did they know that that would be their last day. Because right here in this cornfield, those 84 passengers met their final moments. What I'm talking about is one of the worst mid-air collisions in Indiana history, if not some in the whole United States. What had happened was the DC-9 aircraft holding 84 souls on board, 4 of those were crew, were on their final approach to Indianapolis International Airport. They never made it. Their final destination was right where I'm standing. Allegheny Flight 853, on final approach, called out to the air traffic controller. They gave the coordinates and they started their descent. For some reason, they didn't know that there was a private jet moving in the opposite direction and heading straight for Allegheny Flight 853. Now, what had happened is unclear. Still not sure why things went down the way they did, but the two aircrafts hit in midair and started falling apart in the air. Now, as you can see, I'm right here. I'm right by this trailer park. This trailer park was actually here at the time, and I'll show you guys that here in a minute. The people they interviewed at the time said that there was body parts and bodies all through here, all over the ground, through the corn. The corn wasn't up tall that time. Now there's the trailer park, right there. So, as the flight was coming in, Allegheny 853, it would have been coming from that direction, right overhead, and it would have came in its final moments right here. It's right where it would have hit, and it continued out that way, throwing passengers' bodies and limbs, the fire, the destruction on impact. What a terrible sight. Not one person survived. From this very location right here, out 200 yards that way, not one of the 84 souls on board survived that crash. Their last moments were here in this field, never to be seen from again, never to be able to talk to their families, well, that we know of. But you never know, because people to this day say right here in this location where I'm at, the crash site of Allegheny Flight 853, that they still see the apparitions of men and women and hear screams and see the ghost walking through the corn and walking through the field when it's empty and the corn's been plowed. They hear the screams, they see the apparitions, and people for years have came out here to make contact with the 84 lost souls of Allegheny Flight 853. And we're out here just 2 days before the anniversary of when this all went down. Just thought it was a crazy story. I mean, you don't hear about things like that. They happen out here in the cornfield. The cleanup was massive. I remember, I wasn't alive then, but I remember hearing my grandparents talk about for months the cleanup went on. They had a big memorial service out here, and they're going to do another one in 2 days. And they should, to remember the lives that were lost out here in this field and the heroic captain that made that last-ditch effort to save lives at that trailer park by steering his aircraft away from those people and landing it right here in this field. But to this day, people said that they see the apparitions of men and women out here crying. Screams can be heard. Shadows walking amongst the rows of corn. What an amazing story. We're going to go to the cemetery next, and I'm going to show you guys the memorial that they put there. And there's actually a lady was telling me there's a little memorial plaque that they put at the end of the street. But if you can imagine, with Allegheny Flight 853 for 200 yards, this was all body parts. All of it. It's a good ghost story. But you know what I was talking about when I said it's also tragic. As much as I love this stuff, I always hate when tragedies like that happen. But they do happen. And they say these people still walk out here. I'm going to do some EVP, some ITC stuff a little later, and I'm going to put it on this recording if I get anything. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to bring you here to this location to kind of show you what it looked like out here with the Allegheny Flight 853 and the 84 souls that had their final moments right here in this corn. All right, let's go check it out down the road, guys. We are at Forest Hill Cemetery here in Shelbyville, Indiana. Now, Allegheny 853 crash site where the ghosts are at and all that stuff, where the tragic end happened for those people. This lot is all mass grave. And some people say you can even see their ghost out here, that they still wander these grounds. This is all mass grave, all of it. This is their memorial that was put out here. I think it got up in 1980s. The accident happened in 1969, of course, on September 9th, that fateful day. There's a weird story about this. Well, the whole thing's weird, right? So people also see the apparitions out here on this mass grave. This is where all the bodies were laid to rest, what they could find of the people that was left, a place for their families could come out and sit and reflect on their lives. But here's one thing. You see this big pine tree You see that? That big pine tree right there. Now there's a story behind this pine tree. One of the gentlemen that met his end on Allegheny Flight 853, he had ordered 24 pine trees. He loved pine trees for his home, his property. He had ordered 24 pine trees a month, something like that, a couple weeks before he had, they were a special kind of pine tree, a couple weeks before he had left. And they started coming in. He had gotten all 23. 23 showed up. But the 24th wasn't there. The one he wanted really bad hadn't came in yet. And when he went on his business trip, he was calling his wife, has my tree got there? Has my tree got there? And she said, no, honey, no, not yet. And he hung up the phone, and of course he got on Allegheny Flight 853, and we all know how that ended. But there's a bright side to that story. We all know that the crash happened. The gentleman never made it home, but his widow, a few weeks after the crash, received this pine tree. And she brought it out here and had it planted over her husband's remains. That was one of the original pine trees that he ordered. And he never got to see it in life. But maybe now he does in death. Anyway, you gotta love these stories. It's kind of a happy ending to it, right? He finally got his pine tree. Anyway, that's it. It's getting dark down the Haunted Backroads, and I gotta wrap it up, guys. I gotta hit the road. I got a ways to drive back home, but I wanted to bring that to you. And you know, whether you believe or not, these stories very interesting, and the tragedies were very real. And good aviation safety, a new way of doing things with air traffic control came out of it. So there was a silver lining with the story. Okay, you all, that's it for me. This is GhostMan Shaun B signing off from the Haunted Backroads of America. I'll see you next time. Good night.